Hi, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon where in the world you are on this beautiful week. I'm Diane Krakora, CEO of PartnerPath. Welcome to this week's Technology Channel videocast. And with me, as always, back from Lisbon, I've got Charlene O'Hanlon. Hey, Charlene.
Hey, Diane, how are you?
I'm doing good. It's been crazy around here.
Well, that's a good thing, right?
Always, always. So this week, we wanted to continue the theme that we had around talking about the partner experience and sharing with you guys some of the data from our State of the Partnering study. So I am going to do this attempt again to share slides. I think I'm getting better at it, and just give you a few slides here, just some data points to look at. Hopefully,
There they are.
there they are. Imagine that. Excellent. So the first one we're going to talk about is this 6 pillars to partner experience, right? This is the study that we did the end of the year. It's our 11th year of the State of Partnering study. And we asked we had 134 vendors. Is it still sharing?
Yep, still sharing.
Excellent. 134 vendors and 214 solution providers, and they answered a couple of questions for us, about 40 of them, on what affects the partner's experience. And this is the relative measurements that the partners said the elements that really affect their experience with a vendor. And what we're really talking about is that their experience affects their engagement with a vendor and thus their sales. So we talked a little bit about this last time. People well outranked enablement, and then we followed by infrastructure, which was a bit of surprise, channel model, program policies, and way down there, performance metrics.
Yeah, I find it, I think I said last week, I find it fascinating and really, I guess in a way, it kind of cements my thought that, it really takes good people to make a good organization. So you can't, I always think about that Barbra Streisand song, people who need people, from Funny Girl, I think it is. But that aside, it just, to me, it just goes to show that you get what you give, right? So if you've got good people, you're going to have a good, solid organization, and they're going to do what they can to make you succeed.
Yes, and then this week we wanted to break down the people element just a tad bit more and show some of the areas within that overall pillar. And these were the 5 things that the partners rated the highest in terms of, in the people pillar, what elements really affected their experience. And as we've talked about a lot, it is all about people. But we were also surprised how far out in front the access to support teams were in the partners' overall experience, particularly in this people category.
Yeah, it's not just people, it's the right people, right?
Right, and we considered that the partner account manager, which is second in that list, would be the highest, right? Their primary point of contact, the guys that they're calling them weekly, if not daily, and kind of their go-to person, but will outpace them access to support.
Yeah, well, I think the access to support teams is very telling. If you think about the communication between channel partners and their vendor partners, the fact that they are listing that as their #1 priority under people tells me that there's really not enough of that kind of back-end communication happening, that when they need to talk to somebody to get some help on something, they're put on terminal hold or they're put into the queue, and that can be frustrating even for the best of us.
Yeah, and I think that really the access to support really highlights a couple of points. One, when the partners need help, they want to go directly, as you just mentioned, right? Not terminal hold, not even to a knowledge base. These guys are probably out in front of a customer at the time that they need support help, and they need it right now. Into not going through their partner account manager, not trying to find something in a knowledge base, but they're in critical breakdown with something in front of a customer, and they need help.
Yeah, they need assistance fast. They need answers fast, and they don't want to wait. But also, it's more than that. It's the reputation of the channel partner to be able to have to look good in front of his partners, basically. So, if you're put on terminal hold, or if you're put into the queue and you're waiting and you're listening to the stupid music, I mean, that doesn't do much to enhance your reputation among your customers. So I think, if nothing else, these guys have a reputation to consider.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, they're sitting in front of a customer, and they're like, "Hey, just a minute. I am really cool with this vendor. Trust me." So they're trying to tap dance a little bit. So that's certainly one element. That whole making the partner be successful.
Right, right. And then also there's the other element of these guys have limited time, and if it's a critical system breakdown, sometimes they don't have that time to wait. They need the information like yesterday. So, it could be a matter of potentially losing that customer's business by not being able to get those answers that they need right away.
Exactly. Certainly that other element is that most of the partners are relying more on services, right? Support services, professional services, rather than on the product discounts. And this is really how they're building their businesses and making money, particularly as we transition slowly to a cloud or on-demand solution, right? That their ability to support a customer through services is really kind of how they have their livelihood.
Yeah, yeah, and believe me, when channel partners are dissed by their vendor partners, then they remember that. And we talked, I think last week or the week before, about the number of vendors that channel partners are using these days, and that number is being whittled down, it seems, yearly. These are the types of things that vendors now really need to focus their efforts on if they want to keep their channel partners and be that kind of preferred vendor status among their channel partners. This is something that I think vendors really need to put a lot more emphasis on, give a lot more thought to, in ways that they can service their channel partners effectively, and do it in a way that promotes goodwill between both of them.
Yeah, and that's the point, that we continue to bring up with having this data. Again, over 200 solution providers, over 100 vendors, providing data into about 50 questions on what makes a great partner experience and what are the vendors doing around that partner experience. This is a great way if you're trying to stand out and grab mind share from your partner community, that you can put more access to resources, particularly those support resources, ahead of maybe some of the other investments you're making.
I agree 100%.
Well, thank you, Charlene, for bantering about some more data with me. Maybe next week we'll take a break from data. I don't know, kind of like it. But thank you all for joining in our weekly Technology Channel videocast. And thanks, Charlene, for coming back to the mainland for us and continuing to have this discussion.
Hey, anytime, Diane.
Talk with you soon.
Take care.